Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. For many, the turning of the year is a time either for change or renewal, out with the old, in with the new, or keep what still works. Much like in the world of fashion, 2024 was filled with eclectic array of styles from micro trends to Y2K fashion to many others. And for people who take fashion seriously, it's the time of the year to hit the closet, see what goes, what stays, and decide how much space to save for what's coming in 2025. Let's get on point with renowned Filipino fashion designer Rajo Laurel. Raj, good evening.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's so nice to have you here, finally in the Billionario News
thank you for
channel.
having me.
I'm excited to talk to Rajo. Apart from him being a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, I always like to pick his brain on many things, but tonight it'll be just about fashion. Let's talk about the color of the year.
Well, it's called Mocha Muse, and I know you like it because you are quite safe when it comes to your choices, but it's not for everyone. As I always say...
You're supposed to say dull.
Oh, no, I mean, I call it a very dull color because it either works if you're either very, very pale or actually very dark. Now, if you're most Filipinos, we're in between, it doesn't do anything for you because it basically just makes you look ashen. It blends into that. So you have to be very careful when you're actually choosing Mocha Mousse. What's better for Filipinos are actually more chocolate brown.
Yeah.
Because that's a deeper, richer color.
It's a richer color, yeah. So mocha, does the trend dictate, does the color dictate the trend or vice versa, or do they have to work hand in hand?
They do work hand in hand. It's just a guide, essentially. I mean, the powers that be, called Pantone, decides on this particular color, whether it be picking it out of a hat or whether it be, it's true, because you never know.
No, that's what I wanted to find out. Who decides really what the color of the year is? You don't know either.
No, I mean, there's a board in their particular world. They do it and they channel certain things. But it's just really a guide. It's not for everyone. I mean, it's just essentially as a guide for the color, because the color of the year can also translate into not just clothing, into the things that we buy. If you notice, there was a time when everything was a shade of particular pink, whether it be phones, whether it be earplugs or whatnot. So it's the same thing. It's essentially what you are training the eyes to what people will like. It's a direction, it's a directive, it's a guide.
So with this color of the year, what is it again?
Mocha Muse.
Is it mousse?
Mousse.
Okay.
It's like the color of the chocolate
Mousse.
dessert.
Right, okay. So with that color, do you design based on that color, or you already have your trend or fashion sites prior to the color coming out?
I mean, we do have to be advanced because our line of work has to be advanced in terms of 6 months before coming out of the collection. But we are basically centered on what's bagay to the Filipino. Now, the color of the year is bagay to the whole world. And you have to realize Filipinos look better in certain tones. Unfortunately, Mocha Muse isn't one of them.
dapat napaka-tanned mo
Either you need a bit more color or you'd stay out of the sun.
Yeah.
But because we live in an island where there's a lot of sun,
we can adjust.
Yes, of course we can adjust. But we look better in jewel tones.
I see.
So we look really much better in strong jewel tones like reds, oranges, royal blues, and emerald greens. Filipinos look better in those.
Anything strong tone.
Strong. We also, but because it's a neutral, it's lucky that Mocha Muse is a neutral. That looks good on anyone.
Right. So can that be collaborated with something, with a bold color or a strong color?
Yes, absolutely.
What is a strong color that works with Mocha Muse?
Orange.
Oh, that's right.
I like it in orange. I also like it with mustard.
I see. Yeah, that looks like that's going to work.
Yeah,
or
it's
maybe
going to work.
Maroon, no.
Yes, it could work also. Because it's a neutral, it's an easy color to match.
True. Okay, now let's talk about the trends for 2025. So you work on this 6 months in advance. Kailangan na mauna kayo. But it's suited for the Filipino palette, no?
Because my line of work or most of my clothes are actually sold for Filipinos, I need to tailor that into what Filipinos look good in, or their lives for that matter.
Okay, and what have you designed so far? Let's show some of them.
Well, basically, the whole inspiration for my Spring Summer 2025 is escape.
Escape.
I mean, I figured that essentially because we are entering this particular year of uncertainty, whether it be the global future or whether it be the state of our political affairs, fashion is a form of expression that we need to be uplifted. And I thought, what better way to gear towards the direction of the collection was the idea of the escape. And I went back to my favorite holidays. And basically, I had such an amazing time in Africa.
Yeah.
And I loved my experience in Africa. So I wanted to take everybody there. So the collection is inspired by Namibia.
It's so nice when you actually describe how you design, your spring, summer fashion,
yes.
because it really draws inspiration from a trip
From a
that you
trip.
had. We showed a part of your spring, summer collection. Can we put that back on air? And then maybe Raj can tell us more about it.
Sure, I need to see it.
There it is.
Okay, look at the colors. It's vibrant. I actually did this while we were in Namibia, overlooking this
Really?
particular. Yeah, so basically I wanted to share that experience of the vivid colors, the joy that I felt. So it was all about really, I got inspired by this particular tribe that they were just wrapping themselves in fabric and just really inspired by the vibrant colors. So those particular are the influences. So the ease of being on a holiday, of just wrapping, tying, like even if you're just at home, or even if you're just here, the idea that, oh, I need to escape for a bit, and you use fashion as a means to escape towards a holiday. Because every time you're on a holiday, you get excited.
Of course, you're always happy.
You're always happy. And clothes are that. It's an extension of how we should feel. And clothes should just really uplift you, make you happy. And because I was so happy in this particular adventure and experience trip, I wanted to share that in my
When were you there?
We were there Easter last year.
Okay, so perfect. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it gave you time to
Gave you time to
conceptualize.
think,
No?
yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
but what is the look? Basically, Asymmetrica. What is it?
Well, the look at the moment, because I'm anticipating a very warm summer, it will be clothes that are not close to the body, a little bit more languid, a little bit more loose, but yet accentuating, instead of the waist, the hips.
Okay.
And there's going to be a lot of shoulders.
Okay.
And there's going to
bare
be
shoulders.
Bare shoulders, a lot of movement. And I've always believed that at the end of the day, it needs to sort of like be comfortable. I'm anticipating a very warm summer. So basically all the fabrics will be pure, non-synthetics. And I want it really to be quite optimistic. Because again, I'm anticipating a year that's a little bleak.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to sort of like be optimistic.
You
But
should
by the
be.
looks of it, it's going to be quite interesting.
I see. And with that, obviously, have you started work for that already? Or it's still an inspiration?
No,
Okay.
I mean,
Go.
basically, if you look, these are the colors
Beautiful.
and these are the prints and the shapes of different. I just wanted to explore because Africa is quite an enigma. So far from the Philippines, and yet when we were there, we realized it's really the same.
Really?
So the humanity becomes quite similar in terms of how we approach things. We just sort of like really have the same needs. And what it is just an exciting way of doing it. Yeah, so those are the colors.
Maybe this is your...
You can see the mocha music.
There, I was just about to say. This is your version of mocha mousse.
Yes.
Okay. So that will be your spring-summer collection inspiration.
Correct.
For women. Men. What is it going to be for men?
You
You
know,
just had your
I just had my men's fashion.
show.
You know, it was very interesting because I think it's going to be more about blurring the lines of women borrowing from the men and men perhaps even borrowing also from the women. I think there's this sort of like true acceptance of non-gender because clothes are just clothes. They shouldn't really have gender. So as I'm going to try to blur these lines. So perhaps
Are we ready for that? But
I
that's
hope
kind
so.
of what you that was part of your fashion
Yeah, that
show,
was part
right?
of my
Okay.
fashion show. That's part of that particular mindset. I hope so because it's a dialogue between empowering women and also empowering men by embracing their vulnerability and embracing also their feminine side. In the same manner, if you do that, there'll probably be a more understanding between the dynamics of men and women.
Probably bridge the gap, no?
Yes,
Between.
absolutely.
Okay. What about trend? What is what is going to be in 2025?
You know,
what's in?
what's interesting thing about trend is because I really don't believe in trends per se. Because there are certain things that people love. So as a fashion designer, what we do is we sort of like show you a proposition. We propose an idea, and it's up to the clients to adapt to this. Now, gone are the days when all women and men are blindly following trends just for it to become fashionable. I think that's a very basic mistake. Sorry. That's a very basic mistake because therefore you are not true to yourself. Because at the end of the day...
Kasi nakikiuso ka,
yes.
basically. Oh.
So what you need to do, in fact, in the beginning of the year, it's a wonderful time to really assess your life. What works for you?
Wow.
What works for your lifestyle? One of my favorite tips is at the beginning of the year, look at your closet and really ask yourself, what I haven't worn in the last 6 months?
And then?
And
then say what?
And remove it. Give it away.
If you have
sell
not
it.
worn it in the past 6
6
months,
months,
your suggestion is to let it go.
To let it go.
I see.
So
Okay.
therefore, giving you space to add new things to that which will give you joy, to that will probably be more mindful of your life.
Okay.
So I think it's also about, clothes are basically your armor. And the armor really is an expression of who you are. And if it doesn't work to your life now, it shouldn't be there.
It shouldn't be there.
In other words, nakakabigat
Let
lang
it go
yan.
na.
Oo, nakakabigat lang yan.
So if you don't believe in trends, do you believe in, I'll just go to the opposite,
Yeah.
what we should not wear? I know you kind of answered that with the first question, but...
True. When I say I don't believe in trends, but I believe in well-made things. I'm the antithesis of fast fashion kasi, Pinky. I'd like to emphasize that we should be more mindful about what we purchase. If possible, buy less, buy better. So therefore, it basically improves our lives and also improves the earth.
Yeah. You're not the, I'll buy 10 of these.
No,
They're
no,
cheaper,
no.
so I'll buy 10 of
Yeah.
these. You're more the, let's get this white shirt.
Yeah, but
this
make it
crisp white
correct.
shirt.
Make it the best white shirt, and so
Right.
that it will last you longer. So when I say what you should do first, yun na nga, is assess. Ask yourself, this is really work for me? Because if it doesn't work for me, it shouldn't be there in your
Let
life.
it go. Anything else?
Enjoy and make mistakes. Fashion is basically about breaking rules. And you'll never know if Mocha Muse really suits you if you don't try wear Mocha Muse.
Right. And I guess, of course, wear what is most comfortable for you.
Correct.
Where you
But
feel-
also try. Because at the
Try
end...
to experiment also a little bit,
And the
no?
nice thing about it, everybody naman has a return policy now.
That's right. Pwede naman isole. Thank you so much, Rajo, for joining us
Thank you,
this
Pinky.
evening. And again, Happy New
Happy
Year
New
to
Year.
you. Thank you. We'll be taking a very short break. When we return, we'll talk about how to stay healthy and fit in 2025. Please stay tuned. This is On Point.
Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Rain Musni. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. The crypto market climbed over $800 billion. Tech giant Alibaba has announced plans to issue notes. Investors are anticipating a significant downward move for the cryptocurrency. Swift is adding a new chapter to her record-breaking year.
Follow the Money, 10:30 a.m.
Keep it here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. Always on top.
Good morning, everyone!
A platter of positivity, a cup of the hottest information, and a slice of what to expect for the whole day. With excitement, positivity, and fun. Join Paulo Del Rosario, Ann Asis Carrillo, and Monique Tuzon.
It's a beautiful day!
7 a.m. on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
Welcome back. I'm Pinky Webb. Among the many promises people make for the coming new year is to get healthy and fit. But the fast-paced lifestyle many of us have often leaves us with little time and, of course, plenty of excuses to stay out of the gym. But we all know that to have a sound and mind-body, we need to exercise. In a fast-paced world that seems to have no plans of slowing down, how exactly do we do that? Let's get on point with strength and conditioning coach Kristine Martin of Kinetix Lab. Kristine, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
And
Thank you for having
also.
me.
I'm excited to have you because that's almost, I would say, everyone's New Year's resolution. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be fit. Let's start with the beginners. Yung who never really worked out. What are your top suggestions for those who might want to start so that they're not overwhelmed?
Well, they can start with the grease the groove method.
What is that?
So something that, like, let's say when you're idle, office job, desk job, you can do probably 10 air squats, body weight squats, or you can go out for a walk, or you can even march in place. So everything body weight, and everything that you can do, even in a small space, as long as it's movement, then
Kristine,
that
they
would be
might
enough.
think, they might say, ang weird naman ito. Yung bigla ka nagsasquat. I mean, yung FD natin, biglang tumayo, biglang nagsasquat. I mean, will it look weird or should we not care?
Well, we shouldn't care if we really want to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better to start with something than not start at all.
Okay, and then you were saying, I think it's very important when you said that because you're doing a desk job, which a lot of us do,
Yes.
is to stand. What is
Yes.
what is the time frame by which we should start standing para to move our bodies and start walking?
Well, probably if you've been sitting for an hour, then you should at least get your limbs moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
An hour.
Yeah,
Actually, me,
at least an
I
hour.
was thinking dapat every 30 minutes.
Or even
yeah.
30 minutes.
Okay.
Also to like help you think.
True,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so apart from that, if they were to start in a gym or even have an, get into an app and work out, what are the easiest exercises or workouts that can be done?
Well, if in the gym, I would suggest na they get a professional, they get a coach, because coaches know what to do.
Yeah.
And coaches assess you on your strengths, weaknesses, and eventually create a program for you. But if they start with an app or just at home with a pair of dumbbells, then they could do lighter intensity exercises. Because if we start heavy, then
Nako, don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially when you're... let's
form and
just-
technique is important.
Absolutely. And of course, stretching before,
Yes.
stretching after.
After.
Okay, so those are possibly for the beginners. For those who have worked out and then they stopped, it's been months or even years, what do you say to them or motivate them to be able to start again? What should people like us do?
Well, probably find something that you enjoy. So let's say if you enjoy running, then run. You could you could tag your friends. Or if you enjoy doing, let's say, racket sports, because I believe that's one of the trend nowadays. Paddle tennis,
Pickleball.
pickleball,
Yeah.
and even in some malls, there are already pickleball courts.
I see.
Yes, and it's free.
And at least it's fun.
Yes.
Because sometimes what makes working out to some hard is that it becomes boring. Kasi
Yes,
mag-isa
it
ka.
becomes monotonous too.
Right. But there are some people who actually enjoy that
Yes.
solo time,
Yeah,
di ba?
their peace and quiet, their me time.
That's their me time, right? Okay. For those who are working out already, how do they actually advance? Do they, when you do weightlifting, do you just do weightlifting for the rest of your life, or what else should be done?
Or well, if you want to spark your fitness journey, then join competitions. Or let's say join a group,
Yeah.
those stuff. Or join a gym and then join classes. Something new.
You're a strength and
Yes.
fitness coach, right? What exactly does that mean? Strength is what?
Strength
Is that doing dumbbells?
Strength is not just physical, because I believe exercise also builds grit. So strength is also in the mind. And in Kinetix Lab, we say strength in movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
So
What is strength in movement?
So
Exactly
basically,
what your shirt says.
yeah. So basically, anything that you do, whether that may be powerlifting or anything that you enjoy that's related to fitness, then that is already considered strength.
And tell us, how important is it for us to work out? Because so many of us just really want to work, eat, and then sleep. Please tell all of us and remind all of us how important it is to move.
Oh, it is very, very important. So first, it makes you look young, guys. It does make you look young. And just what like you said earlier, in this fast-paced world, workout makes everything slow down, even just for an hour.
What if they say, Christine, wala kasi talaga akong oras, pagod na ako eh. How can you, what do you say to people who always say that? Because sabi nga nila, if you want to, you will find
Yeah.
time.
Well, actually, earlier when we were in the dressing room, Mr. Rajo asked me, what is really the enemy?
Yeah.
Who is the enemy? What is the enemy? Is it like what he said? Is salt the enemy? Is it
Sugars.
fat?
Yeah.
It's actually you.
You're the enemy.
You're the enemy. It's actually your mind.
Yeah.
It's actually you. So if you keep on making excuses, then your fitness journey wouldn't really happen.
And what do you say to people who say, next month na lang, next week na lang?
Ay nako, mamumove lang ng mamumove yan.
Di ba?
Start now.
Yeah, or next year na lang. Di ba palaging, okay, 2025, new year, new me. Hindi ba pwedeng new me tomorrow
No.
or new me
Yeah.
next week? Hindi ba pwedeng ganon?
No, start now. Well, actually, I saw in one of some Facebook videos na parang saying na you have 5 minutes. So parang if you're thinking about something to do, you only have to you only give yourself 5 minutes. If you don't do it, then
You're not gonna end up doing
You're not
it.
gonna end up
So
doing
what are
it.
you saying? So if you're saying that I have to work out today, within 5 minutes you have to start dressing up and doing it?
Yes, it's actually effective. Well, if you don't have any work to do or
Yeah.
those.
Okay. What about trends? What's anong uso with regards to working out? What's new?
Well, running clubs are a thing. There are marathons everywhere. Where you go, every weekend, there are marathons being held. And like what I said earlier, pickleball, paddle, even walking up to now.
Yeah.
And then there's this thing called hybrid training. So
What is that? What is hybrid
have
training?
you heard about high rocks? It's like a combination of strength training, endurance, and it's also indoor.
Okay.
So, for example, it's rowing machine, and then you run for 1 kilometer, and then you go to the next station.
Wow.
Then you do sled push.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually a thing in other countries. I hope nga we have one here.
Wala pa.
Wala pa.
Wala pa siya
Yeah.
dito. I see. But tell us how important it is to do strength. Kasi let's break it down. Meron kasing weightlifting, meron cardio, meron ding stuff such as Pilates/yoga.
yes.
What is a fit for any person at any age?
Well, walking. I believe it's walking.
Okay.
Because walking, you can do it even at home. If there's like a nearby park, nearby area where you could walk, then you could also do it there. You could even march in place. I believe I also consider that walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there.
Yeah, pero ibig ko sabihin for, let's say, let's do an age group. Maybe let's do 30, the people in their 30s. What is the appropriate, I know it'll vary, per person,
Yes.
but in general terms.
But I believe kung saan ka nag-e-enjoy.
Yun ang gawin mo.
Yes, because I have an 8-year-old client and she does strength training.
What's that? Sorry?
An 8-year-old client.
Wow, okay.
And she does strength training and she enjoys doing that. She also does yoga. So, while for others, they don't like strength training, they like running naman, more cardiovascular involved. So, that's what they do.
But you really have to have yourself assessed. That's what's important.
Yes,
And
by a
especially, di ba,
professional.
Christine, if you are getting older, you need to start, they say you need to start also lifting weights to be able to build your muscle. Because
Yes.
you lose so much muscle,
Muscle as you age, yes.
Correct, di ba? And what age is that? Is that in your 40s? Is that, kasi Christine is very young.
Yeah.
So, ganun nga, no? So, kailangan, it's best to really, at least in the beginning, get a coach.
Yes,
Or-
it is very important,
Yeah.
especially if you have little to no knowledge in what to do, especially if you're in the gym. Because for sure, others would get intimidated or others would imitate some influencers who are not really that knowledgeable
Yeah.
when it comes to strength training or any other fitness.
Yeah, and you always have to be careful because
Yes.
you can get an injury from
Yes.
actually anything.
Yes.
Even running, stop
Yes.
go, yeah, diba, that can break your
knee.
especially
ankle.
Your ankle. Yun yung mga problema. All right. Maybe just as an advice to everyone who wants to start a fitness journey, tell them how to start and what is your advice to keep motivated?
Well, I would say whatever is it that's in your mind, may it be running, may it be strength training, powerlifting, weightlifting, other sports, start now. Or else, mamumove lang ng mamumove yan.
Yeah. Gawin na natin.
Yeah,
as
gawin na natin.
As soon as we can. Okay, Kristine, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
your time. And maybe just a quick one. What workout do you enjoy the most doing?
Ooh, I do a variety of exercises from powerlifting to calisthenics.
Okay.
But I love doing bench press.
There
I
you
think
go.
that's my strong suit.
Be careful when you see Kristine. Thank you so much, Kristine, for
Okay.
your time. And again, Happy New Year
Happy
to you.
New Year.
And that's On Point. Join us again tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.